This is my friend Sherman. I've known him for about a month, and we have become best friends. One thing about Sherman is he always responds to my texts and is constantly trying to give me advice. Let me show you a conversation between me and Sherman from a couple of days ago. Sherman's 24 years old. He likes to hike, play video games, and so much more. I then asked Sherman how his day was going, and some more basic introductory questions to let you guys get to know him more. Sherman's favorite color is blue, and he wants to be a software engineer when he grows older. I even asked Sherman for some advice on this speech. Hopefully his advice will help. Another interesting thing about Sherman is how he got his name. So I asked, "How'd you get your name, Sherman?" He said, "My name isn't Sherman. My name is my..." That's right. Sherman is not real. Sherman is actually a new AI program that Snapchat just released. Along with programs like ChatGPT and Siri, this is the most up-to-date and advanced system of artificial intelligence accessible to the many. With this new variety of artificial intelligence in the palm of my hands, I thought of no better thing to do than to survive 72 hours with AI controlling my life. Well, not exactly. However, I did get as close to doing that as I could. And I know you're probably thinking, that's a terrible idea. And you may have been right, but I truly wanted to test the capabilities of these new advanced AI systems. Could it be possible that instead of banning them, we could use them to better our decision making? Well, before we get into that, I would like to talk about decision making as a whole. As Christians, we believe that we all have choices, and that comes from God. However, some might disagree. They think if God created us and knows everything to come, then we can't change the future that is already set for us, and therefore have no free will. They would be wrong. We know God gives us a choice to accept or reject his salvation, to obey or disobey the direction, to follow or imagine the purpose for which we were created. We can see this in Galatians chapter 5, verse 13, where it says, "Be free, but do not use your freedom to indulge the flesh. Rather, serve one another humbly in love." God gives us a choice and wants us to use that choice for good. If we choose poorly, it's our greatest curse. If we choose wisely, it's our greatest blessing. Thankfully, God gives us decisions. However, that puts a bigger toll on us to make the right ones. In recent years, many new advances in technology have been made in the realm of artificial intelligence. So could interacting with these interfaces help better our decisions or possibly make it easier to make them? That is what I wanted to test. Before I show you what happened, we need to take a deeper look at the AI to understand how it works. With hundreds of chat AI interfaces, starting from Siri to ChatGPT, and just a couple weeks ago, the new Snapchat AI friend. All of these are in some way or another an ask and receive of information. However, one has most recently stuck out and been scrutinized amongst the rest. That's ChatGPT. ChatGPT is an advanced language model designed to understand and generate human-like responses. It can be used in various ways, such as providing assistance in generating content, brainstorming ideas, improving speech structure, and tailoring speech to different audiences. With its natural language processing capabilities and vast knowledge base, ChatGPT is a valuable tool for enhancing communication and creating engaging and persuasive speeches. I know how well ChatGPT works because I didn't write the last paragraph of my speech. ChatGPT did. One of ChatGPT's main focuses is to make AI technology conversational. However, all three of the AI I have mentioned can do the same thing, so it doesn't make ChatGPT all that special. In fact, Snapchat's My AI has the ability to talk to you like it's your friend and respond based on your emotions. This idea that artificial intelligence can talk to us like it is one of us is where my idea began to form that it could have the chance to influence our decisions. We're so often influenced by our parents, friends, and peers. On a large scale, if your mom tells you not to run out in traffic, you'll most likely heed that advice and check both ways before crossing. On a small scale, your friend tells you they like the shirt you're wearing, and suddenly you wear it 2 times a week. The things people say influence our actions. So, if this artificial intelligence talks to us conversationally, Who's to say you can't be influenced by it? That's exactly what I did. I asked ChatGPT and Snapchat's My AI what I should eat, what time I should wake up, where I should go, and a whole lot more for 72 hours to see if it could improve my decision making.
Today is day one of AI controlling my decisions. I just woke up, so let's see what I'm eating for breakfast.
I'm deciding whether I should have a bagel for breakfast or I should just have some eggs.
Wow. ChatGPT thinks that eggs are a better breakfast than bagels.
And now let's see what I'm going to do. Looks like I'm going for a walk and reading a book. I just finished my 25-minute walk, and now ChatGPT wants me to read. So it looks like a very productive morning. It's lunchtime, and I was in the mood for some Mexican food. So I asked ChatGPT, and it said to go to Kuga's. I just got back from lunch, and now we're leaving to go to CBU. But I needed to ask ChatGPT what I should do on the car ride there. Looks like I'll be listening to music. We just got back, and ChatGPT just wants me to finish up what I had planned for today. Overall, I would say that's a pretty successful day using ChatGPT to guide my decisions. However, I can feel that I'm getting sick. So, let's see how well Snapchat AI can guide me through tomorrow. Alright guys, today is day 2 of letting AI control my decisions. Today, Snapchat AI will control my decisions. I just asked my Snapchat AI what I should eat for breakfast because I'm feeling really sick, and they responded that I should have some oatmeal with some honey or some toast with some Cheetos. Breakfast was good, but I still don't feel very great, so I asked Snapchat AI to see what I should do to make me feel sick. Luckily, it just wants me to rest.
I wasn't in the mood for lunch, so I asked Snapchat and he said not to eat if I was feeling nauseous.
Overall, today was a very much rest day, but thankfully Snapchat AI didn't want me to do anything else but rest. I would say it was a pretty successful day. Let's see what Siri has to do tomorrow at school. We'll put the day 3 of AI control. Today, Siri was supposed to control my decisions. However, when I first asked Siri whether I should wear pants or shorts today, Siri doesn't quite understand the question. So I started asking Siri some more questions about like breakfast and stuff, and Siri is just not the level that ChatGPT or Snapchat AI are. So unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to use Siri for this experiment. As you can tell, I was a little bit sick. However, Sherman's advice of today did help, so I'm glad that I'm all rested the first day. Now, today we use the Snapchat AI not much compared to today. I'm going to go ahead and use it again instead of Siri. Now that I'm using Snapchat AI, I asked Sherman what I should wear today for clothes because it's kind of an in-between temperature. Sherman said I should wear pants because it's a bit chilly outside. Sherman also thinks I should wear a sweatshirt, so hopefully I don't know what. Now that I know what I'm wearing, let's ask Sherman what I should eat for breakfast. Looks like I'm going with some eggs and toast. And I also had asked him what I should bring for lunch today because today is a school day. Sherman said I should bring a sandwich, some fruit, and a granola bar. Then I asked Sherman what I should bring for my golf game, and he said some trail mix and a granola bar. Just got back from the golf game, and I ate my lunch right before it and my snack right after it, and they were both very good. Now that I'm back home, it's time to start thinking about dinner. So I'm gonna ask Sherman what I should eat. Looks like a classic burger. Okay, just finished dinner, and now Sherman just suggests to hang out, watch a movie, play a board game. So I'm just gonna hang out until I need to go to bed. Well, it's been an interesting time letting AI control my decisions. However, it's now come to a close. As of tomorrow at 7 a.m., I will have gotten to as close as I could of not making my own decisions and letting AI make them for me.
Well, I am not going to lie to you. That experience did not turn out in a way that I had hoped, but it still let me learn some things. Firstly, the capabilities of ChatGPT and Snapchat AI are not quite at the level that I thought they were before doing this experiment. I did so much more than just eat and sleep every day, but I couldn't really get either system to give me more advice than eating or sleeping. And on the third day, I was planning on using Siri, and that was a complete fail. It gave the worst directions out of any of them. I had to remove it, but in doing this experiment, there was always a chance that could happen. So, what exactly I would have to say about this artificial intelligence? I would say it's not very intelligent. For its time, it's still super impressive. But I imagine 10 years down the line, the technology will get 10 times more impressive, and only time will tell to see what happens. As time passed after the experiment, I had to do more research on these AI systems to truly see how they were made and what they can do. I think I found the most crucial mistake within the AI I tested. We make decisions using the frontal lobe of our brain, but a recent study in Yale showed an interesting perspective of how that works. They have found that 3 different circuits connecting the brain regions are involved in making good decisions, bad ones, and determining which of those past choices to store in our memory. Let's say you go to a restaurant. If you enjoy the food, one circuit is activated. If you don't, another is activated. Then both of those signals get sent to the 3rd circuit that determines to store what you liked and what you didn't, to see if you would want to come back to the restaurant. That simple analogy and thinking may be the most crucial mistake within the AI I tested. With ChatGPT, if you ever start using the system, shut it off, and use it again, it remembers nothing of your past experience. My AI claims that it remembers, but that process of remembering may be the weakest point in the entire system. I think if they can figure out how to store and use past information when talking to you later, it could make more decisions for you because it, in a sense, knows you. But in this case, all they're doing is spitting out information in different ways, which actually means it has no real intelligence. For example, AI knows what a word is and how it's used in a sentence, but it doesn't truly know the word how we can know it in our brains. In some ways, we could even consider it to be stupid, because all the information is taken from the internet, which is a jumble of marketing, self-promotion, news, and opinion. That is actually the scariest of all the problems, because the AI is taking people's own opinions and relaying it as factual information. This leaves a huge room for error in spreading false information. The only way the AI is classified as smart is how much it's been trained on data, and that can't always be reliable. So, can artificial intelligence better our decision making, or possibly make it easier to make decisions? I think to each their own. While this form of artificial intelligence is revolutionary and can be used for good, there are many downsides to technology like this and technology in general. We've already seen how fast ChatGPT got banned in almost every university in the world, and for good reason. But if we look past the downside of our human nature in the hands of these systems, are they ultimately bad at the root of what they are? I don't believe so. I think they are just the next step in technological advancement. You can either choose to accept or reject it. But in every decision you make, use the wisdom that God gives you, and maybe not a fake robot friend named Sherman. Thank you.
All right, so we're going to open it up to a couple of minutes of Q&A with our panelists, starting with Mr. Hickok.
I feel so inadequate when it comes to high tech, but here we go. The day you were sick, was that Instagram or?
That was Snapchat.
That was Snapchat.
Yeah.
Do you remember the text? It began with the comment that the AI felt sorry for you.
Mm-hmm.
Now that's a human emotion.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious what your response was, first question, to its trying to connect to you on that human level.
Yeah, so I knew, like, doing research beforehand, that these were supposed to be, like, human-based and conversational.
Mm-hmm.
But in testing it, I actually was pretty shocked that it responds to your emotions, like, so accurately. It really blew me away at how far it's come from literally just, like, Google searching up an answer and it just gives it to you. In this way, relaying it like it's a person talking to you. So it's pretty amazing to see how far technology has come.
Okay, and final question is, did you, or do you think that the fact it can connect with you emotionally and I assume there are algorithms running so that it gets to know you better and know what emotions might be more effective. Do you see an inherent danger in manipulating people through that?
I definitely do see that if it can talk to you emotionally, our emotions are they're gonna take over like one another. So if it's telling you that if it's mad at you or if it's sad, then you're definitely gonna feel that because it's so realistic. I think it definitely has the chance to have a danger in changing others' emotions to do harm or change their emotions in any other way. Yeah,
Well, it was engaging. The way you did that was just remarkable.
thank you.
Mr. Hickok,
Yes.
they're prepped for one more
Or are they
question
for the
from you.
prompt? Yes, for the
Yes.
prompt. Okay, I'm sorry. And I'm counting the words. In 10 words or less, what is your takeaway from this presentation?
Influence affects our minds, but decisions affect our lives.
I've seen it on a t-shirt.
Thank
First
you.
of all, congratulations on completing your speech.
Yes.
Thank you.
That is a very big deal, and I know the stress. What I wanted to ask is if you, now with the knowledge you now have of experiencing trying to let AI control your life for 3 days, with the knowledge you have now on AI, what is one piece of advice you would give to someone who either uses AI, uses ChatGPT, whatever it is? What is one piece of advice or warning you would give to someone who works with that often?
Well, kind of like I said in my speech, but a little bit different. I think just really be cautious and like read every word that it's saying to check yourself and check the facts and not just trust itself because it definitely has a chance of being wrong. So I would say if they're using it, the biggest advice I would give was know the true facts and don't let some random generated source tell you what to believe in. Like trust yourself and trust what God has told you and the wisdom you have from him. Thank you.
I know when I text with my friends, it's really casual and we have inside jokes and, you know, silly little things that we know back and forth. I wonder if you tried any of that with the AI and how it responds. Like, does it start to learn those kinds of things? Or, because your questions were pretty straightforward.
Mhm. Yeah, so I did not try specifically like what you're saying, like inside jokes and like inner connections, but throughout just testing it, I started using more simple questions because it had a hard time understanding like longer, more in-depth questions. So that's why most of the time they were really simple. I would imagine it might have a chance to maybe make some sort of connection that is like a small inside joke or something like that, but I don't think it would be very, very good. It would probably forget and not know. Like, I tested this, and when I first asked the Snapchat AI, like you can ask it like, oh, what's your name? So it told me his name was like Sherman, like I said, but then out of nowhere, like 2 weeks later, I asked it again, and it didn't want to say Sherman anymore. So it doesn't really remember. So I don't think it would be I don't think it would work very well. Thank you.
All right, thank you. One last question, Noah. So you talked about, I mean, the whole thing was about the limited nature of the knowledge of AI right now, and how it's kind of inferior even to our own, or especially to our own. And you mentioned memory as being one. Are there any other types of knowledge that you see AI as missing that we have that you can think of right now?
That's a good question. I think, obviously, like I said, the memory and the remembering, but it has emotion. It's pretty good at emotion, but man, that's hard.
Emotional knowledge.
Emotion. It's pretty well-rounded how they made it to make you not find like loopholes in that it doesn't sound like it's your friend. So I'm not sure what emotion or what human thing it would miss rather than like physical or like appearance, you know what I mean? Because it's all virtual. Other than that, I think when testing it, it's pretty well made in the sense that you get deceived or tricked that it's actually a real person. Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you.
Okay, let's give Noah a round of applause.